There's this one habit, and I mean just one, that Marcus Aurelius leaned on out on the battlefield, that Epictetus leaned on while literally shackled in chains, and that Seneca leaned on right in the middle of the most cutthroat halls of power in Rome. And honestly, it changed everything for all three of them. They didn't go around announcing it. They barely even talked about it out loud. It's this quiet, almost invisible discipline of turning inward, focusing on yourself, and just staying powerfully, deliberately silent. And today, I want to walk you through exactly how this one idea, practiced for over 2,000 years now, can genuinely reshape your whole life. Welcome back to the Inner Citadel, the channel where old philosophy meets your very modern, very chaotic life. If you're new here, hey, welcome. You showed up at exactly the right moment. And if you've been around a while, you already know how we do things. We don't just chat about Stoicism, we actually try to live it. Today's a little different though. I'm not going to hand you some quick listicle. I want to take you into the actual minds of the greatest Stoic thinkers who ever lived and show you, step by step, what it really means to focus inward and hold your tongue. And fair warning, some of this might sting a little, because the truth about silence, about really focusing on yourself, cuts against basically everything modern life is screaming at you to do. So before we dive in, if this kind of content resonates with you, go ahead, subscribe, tap that bell, and stick around till the end, because the last part of this video might honestly be the most important thing you hear all year. Okay, let's get into it. Think back on the last 24 hours of your life. Be honest. How many opinions did you give that literally nobody asked for? How many arguments did you get sucked into that had nothing to do with where you're actually trying to go? How many times did you check your phone, refresh some feed, react to something that in 5 years you won't even remember existed? None of that is an accident, by the way. We're living inside an economy built entirely around your attention, and your focus is, hands down, the most valuable thing you own. Every notification, every manufactured controversy, every viral little debate, it's engineered on purpose to yank you away from the one thing that could actually change your life, which is you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's Marcus Aurelius from Meditations. He wrote that line almost 2,000 years ago, and yet it could have been written this morning, right? Because the fight has always been the same fight, the fight for your own mind. Let me tell you about Epictetus for a second. Born a slave, not just poor, a slave, no freedom of movement, no property, no rights to speak of. His master once wrenched his leg so violently it broke, and he was left lame for the rest of his life. And yet, this man became one of the most towering philosophers in human history. Emperors studied what he taught. His words are still echoing 2,000 years later. How? Well, because while the world had total control over his body, Epictetus made this radical decision that the world would not get his mind. He turned inward. He focused on himself. And he stayed silent about everything that was outside his control. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. Epictetus from the Enchiridion. This is really the first, most foundational Stoic idea there is. The disturbance is never actually out there. It's always in here. And until you get that, I mean really get it, bone deep, the world's going to keep on owning you. So the real question becomes, what does focusing on yourself actually look like day to day? What does staying silent really mean? And why does silence carry so much power? That's what we're going to unpack through 5 Stoic principles that are genuinely going to shift how you see things. Now, most people get Stoic silence completely wrong. They picture it as being cold, robotic, checked out, some emotionless statue of a person. That is not it, not even close. Stoic silence isn't the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. It's a deliberate, conscious choice not to speak. Not because you've got nothing to say, but because you understand your words carry weight, and you refuse to just spend them carelessly. Principle 1. Speak less, mean more. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius, was almost fixated on this. He watched people around him, wealthy senators, generals, men holding enormous power, wreck their reputations, their relationships, their whole sense of peace, purely through talking too much. He put it this way: retire into yourself as much as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. Notice what he's actually saying there. Retire into yourself. Surround yourself only with people who elevate you. And, maybe most importantly, get selective about who earns your energy. Think about how many conversations you've had just this past month that left you drained, that made you feel worse, that dragged you into somebody else's drama, somebody else's chaos. Now ask yourself, honestly, what would your life even look like if you simply stopped engaging with those? This isn't cruelty. It isn't arrogance. It's honestly one of the kindest things you can do for yourself, and by extension, for everyone around you too. Because when you protect your own peace, you show up better in every interaction that actually counts. Principle 2. Your silence is your strength. There's a psychological truth here that the Stoics understood long before modern science ever caught up and confirmed it. Reactive people are predictable, and predictable people are controllable. The moment you react instantly, argue back, defend yourself, explain yourself to every single person who questions you, you've handed over your power. You basically become a puppet, and whoever's pulling the strings barely even has to try. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He was the emperor of Rome, for crying out loud. People tried provoking him constantly. Rivals, enemies, senators running their own agendas. And his secret weapon was almost stupidly simple. He just didn't react. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. He didn't need to argue back, didn't need to defend himself. He just kept being who he was, disciplined, grounded, focused, and let his life do the talking. That's what Stoic silence looks like in practice. Not weakness, unshakable strength. I actually want to ask you something, and I mean this. Think about it for a second. Drop it in the comments. What's one situation in your life right now where staying silent might genuinely be the most powerful move you could make? Let me know down there, okay? I read every single one. We're living in an era built on comparison. Instagram, LinkedIn, X, YouTube. Everywhere you look, it's somebody else's highlight reel running on a loop. And the message underneath it all is always the same. You're not enough. You're behind. You should be further along by now. The Stoics would have clocked this instantly, and they'd have called it exactly what it is: theft. Not of your money, of your attention, which is really theft of your life. It is not that I am brave, but that I know what is not worth fearing. Marcus Aurelius. Principle 3. The dichotomy of control. Honestly, your biggest superpower. Epictetus built his whole philosophy around one core idea, what he called the dichotomy of control. And once you truly absorb it, it genuinely feels like someone just handed you the keys to your own mind. Here it is. Some things are within our control, and some things simply are not. Sounds almost too simple, right? But follow it all the way down and watch what happens. What's within your control? Your thoughts, your choices, your effort, your attitude, your response to whatever happens to you. What's outside your control? Other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, what your boss thinks of you, whether your last post blew up, whether someone likes you back. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus and Citadel. And here's where it gets really profound. Most people burn 80% of their mental energy on stuff they cannot control, and then wonder why they feel exhausted, anxious, stuck, powerless. Focusing on yourself in the true Stoic sense means redirecting that 80% back toward you, your craft, your growth, the things that actually move the needle in your life. Let me tell you about Seneca's retirement. Late in his life, after decades navigating the genuinely dangerous political world of Nero's Rome, Seneca did something extraordinary. He stepped back. He gave up enormous wealth, political influence, his whole social standing, and turned his focus entirely inward. Not selfishly, not in isolation, with real, deliberate intentionality. He spent his final years writing, thinking, corresponding with friends, working on his own character. He wrote about it with total clarity. Withdraw into yourself to the extent you can. Associate with those who will make you a better person. Admit only the worthy into your company. Seneca understood something most people go their entire lives without ever discovering. Your inner world is the only world you truly own. And whoever cultivates that inner world with discipline and intention eventually ends up transforming their outer world completely too. Which brings us to one of the most misunderstood parts of all this. The idea that focusing on yourself is somehow selfish. It's really not. Let me show you why. You know the airplane oxygen mask thing, right? Put your own mask on first before helping anyone else. Not because your life matters more, but because if you pass out, you can't help a single person around you. The Stoics understood this at a much deeper level. Someone who's scattered, reactive, unfocused, running on empty, simply cannot show up meaningfully for the world. But someone who's done the work on their own character, their own discipline, their own clarity, that person becomes an anchor for everyone around them. Principle 4. Become a lighthouse, not a mirror. Most people are mirrors. They just bounce back whatever energy the world throws at them. Someone's angry at them, they get angry right back. Someone criticizes them, they either collapse or explode. Someone praises them, suddenly they're floating on cloud 9. Their whole emotional state gets decided by whatever's coming in from outside. The Stoic goal is to become a lighthouse instead. A lighthouse doesn't react to the storm. It doesn't shift when the waves crash into it. It doesn't change its beam depending on the weather. It just shines, steady, reliable, and in doing that, it saves lives. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. When you focus inward, really do the work, build your character, master your own reactions, grow in wisdom, you become that lighthouse. And the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, they feel that steadiness, even when they can't quite name it. They lean on it without even realizing they're doing it. That's the paradox at the heart of Stoic self-focus. The more deeply you invest in your own growth, the more powerfully you end up serving the people around you. Now let's talk about the hidden cost of living for other people's approval. Ask yourself, honestly, how much of your energy right now is going toward managing what other people think of you? Your social media presence, how you dress, the opinions you perform for an audience, the wins you announce, the people you pretend to agree with because disagreeing just feels too risky? All of that has a cost, and that cost gets paid out of your own authentic self. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus. Epictetus was relentless about this one. He watched genuinely smart, well-meaning people destroy their own peace, trying to manage their image, trying to control things that were never theirs to control, trying to win approval from people who didn't even really know them. And his prescription never changed. Come back to yourself. Decide who you are. Then go live that, quietly, without any announcement, without chasing anyone's approval. The person who needs nobody's validation is genuinely the freest person in the room. I think about this one a lot, honestly, and I'd love to know, what's one area of your life right now where you've been living for someone else's approval instead of your own values? You don't have to share it publicly. Just sit with the question, because the answer might be where everything starts to shift for you. Philosophy without practice is just decoration, and the Stoics, above everything else, were practitioners. So let's actually get specific. What does it look like day to day to focus inward and stay silent? Here are 5 Stoic practices you can start putting into action today. Practice 1. The Morning Silence Protocol. Marcus Aurelius started every single morning the exact same way. Before the palace filled with noise, before the petitioners lined up, before the whole weight of running an empire came crashing down, he sat, he wrote, he thought. His meditations weren't written for anybody else to read. They were his own private morning ritual, a conversation with himself, a daily recalibration of his own values. Try this. For the first 20 minutes after you wake up, don't touch your phone. Don't check messages. Don't take in any news or social media. Instead, write down 3 things. Who you want to be today, what you're grateful for, and one thing within your control that you'll actually act on. Sounds simple. It's not easy. But Marcus Aurelius did it while literally running an empire. You can manage it before your commute. Practice 2. The Selective Silence Rule. Seneca had a practice he called selective silence. Before he'd speak in any situation, he'd run through 3 questions in his head. Is what I'm about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And if all 3 didn't come back yes, he simply stayed quiet. Try it for 1 day, just 1. Before you respond in any conversation, text, email, in person, pause and ask yourself those same 3 questions. Notice how many of your usual reactions don't actually pass that test. And notice what shifts in your relationships, in your own peace of mind, once you hold back the ones that don't. Practice 3. the voluntary discomfort practice. This one tends to catch people off guard. I know. The Stoics regularly practiced voluntary discomfort, choosing to go without something comfortable on purpose. Sleeping on a hard floor, eating something plain, going a day without your phone. Why bother? Because comfort left unchecked becomes a chain. When you're attached to comfort, anything that threatens it ends up owning you. But once you've deliberately sat with discomfort and come out the other side, you know at a cellular level that you can actually handle it. Once a week, build in one deliberate discomfort. Fast for a day. Take a cold shower. Switch off every screen for 24 hours. These aren't punishments. Think of them as training sessions for your own freedom. Practice 4. The evening audit. Every evening, Epictetus recommended reviewing the day, not to beat yourself up, but to actually understand yourself. 3 questions. Where did I lose control of my own responses today? Where did I speak when I should have just stayed quiet? Where did I go looking outward for something I should have found within myself? This isn't self-criticism, it's self-knowledge. And self-knowledge is where self-mastery actually starts. Practice 5. The sacred space of inner retreat. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote about this idea of inner retreat, that no matter where you physically are, no matter how loud or chaotic the world outside gets, you can always retreat inward into that quiet space of your own values and clarity. Whenever things start feeling like too much, before you react, before you speak, before you engage, take 3 slow breaths and come back to yourself. That 3-second pause isn't weakness. It's actually the foundation of pretty much every good decision you'll ever make. I want to be straight with you about something. When you start actually focusing inward and staying silent, it's not going to feel powerful right away. Honestly, it's going to feel uncomfortable because the people around you are used to a version of you that reacts, that explains itself, that defends, that performs. And when you stop doing all that, some people are going to get confused. Some are going to feel threatened by it. Some are even going to push harder, trying to provoke a reaction out of you. Let them. Because here's what starts happening on the inside if you stick with it. Your anxiety starts dropping, not because your problems disappear, but because you stop fighting battles that were never yours to begin with. Your focus sharpens up dramatically once you stop feeding your attention to everything demanding it and start pointing it at what actually matters. Your work, your relationships, your growth. Everything starts moving faster. Your relationships actually deepen too, counterintuitively, once you get more selective about who gets your energy. The people you do invest in become so much more meaningful because you're showing up as the real you, not the performed, approval-hungry version. And maybe most important of all, you start trusting yourself again. All that constant noise from other people's opinions starts to fade, and in that quiet, you hear your own voice clearly again, maybe for the first time in years. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. 2,000 years ago, a slave with a broken leg changed the world through the sheer power of his own mind. An emperor of Rome wrestled with his own character every single morning in private journals nobody was ever meant to read. A wealthy advisor walked away from power and status entirely just to become who he was actually meant to be. None of them had social media. No algorithms, no notifications, no endless content fighting for their attention. And yet the battle they were fighting, for their own minds, their own focus, their own inner peace, is the exact same battle you're fighting right now. And the answer they found is the same answer too. Focus on yourself, not obsessively, not selfishly, but deliberately, consistently, with the quiet confidence of someone who's decided their inner world is worth protecting. Stay silent, not forever, not completely, but strategically. Save your words for what actually matters. Save your energy for what you're building. Save your attention for what genuinely transforms you. Because here's the last truth the Stoics really want you to sit with. You've been handed this mountain to prove it can be moved. In Stoic wisdom, your life was never just about you, but it does start with you. And if you're scattered, reactive, living at the mercy of every opinion and event swirling around you, you cannot become what you're actually meant to become. So start today, quietly, powerfully. If anything in this video landed for you, if there was even one moment where you thought, yeah, I needed to hear that, I want you to do 3 things right now. First, hit that like button. Takes 1 second. And it tells YouTube this kind of content matters, which means more people who need it actually find it. Second, subscribe to the Inner Citadel if you haven't already. We're building something here together, a community of people who actually want to live with more intention, more depth, more genuine power. And third, share this with one person, just one. Someone in your life who you think needs to hear this today, because sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is quietly hand someone else the key to their own freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Stay silent, stay focused, stay stoic.